he's also like, I think I'm gonna have to maybe stat check me, but I don't think he's like that far off from 1,000 yards with 2 games left to go. You figure he's going to be motivated because there's probably some bonus incentives tied in
Yes.
to that.
Yeah.
So another reason why there's motivation there for guys that are like near that mark or getting close to it. And like you said, they're fighting to lock up that division, a home playoff game. They had a tough loss yesterday, which, not really expected. I think the Cowboys somehow are still in the playoff
The
mix and
hunt.
played spoiler yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like that play. My last play, and there's not going to be a whole lot of analysis here, other than this guy is way too good of a player to not have scored yet. Trey McBride higher than half a touchdown. I don't know how he hasn't scored it. Guy's a stud. He's really good, very good tight end. If you want to go on Underdog and play higher than his receptions and receiving yards, do that. But you get a little bit more value in the touchdown play. So I'm going to ride with that. And like I said, I don't know how he hasn't scored. So what better time to do it than the next week?
And I think like that loss against Carolina, I think Arizona's going to be motivated as hell to come back and, find a way to make things happen if they have it in their blood. And I don't know if Kyler Murray does. He's playing video games left and right. So I just don't know if he looks at film enough to see Trey McBride wide the fuck open in the end zone. Jaylen Brown, I got higher on the 21.5 points against Orlando Magic. Again, you can interchange the sports. Don't get it twisted. Find a way to make things happen. You want to do NFL? Go ahead. You want to mix in some NBA? Go ahead. NHL? Go ahead. Find a way to make it happen. I got higher on the 21.5 points against the Magic. He's the fire starter. If we're playing chestnuts roasting on an open fire, guess who's fire starting? It's Jaylen Brown. And then you got Jason Tatum, to get some shot-making opportunities late in the first quarter, early second. And then all eyes on Jason Tatum to find a way to create attention. And then he gets guys open like Drew Holiday and Derek White and Kristaps Porzingis and Jaylen Brown. So Jaylen Brown, one thing to keep an eye on, if there's any devil's advocate here, Orlando is good at stopping the three. So you kind of have to find a way to make things happen in the paint, which I think he will play bully ball, especially with Banchero out. So that's why I think Brown will succeed within the 21.5 points against the Magic.
Yeah, and I'm glad you threw that in there because I was going to say that the Magic are a pretty good defensive team. That's kind of like sneaky their calling card.
Yep.
But like you said, Jaylen Brown physically, they don't have a lot of guys that can match up with him. So I could see him getting, into the post and finishing around the rim, making plays. And also that Celtics team, no matter how good you are defending the three, they are still going to shoot them.
Yeah. All right. It is time. This time is here. It's Christmas time. Here we go. We're going to have fun. I'm also going to embed a little bit of Christmas music on the background. It's the most wonderful time of the year. We're getting into it. We're going to be throwing questions left and right. 5 questions, the Christmas version. So we will participate each. We will have a conversation about each question. I'll give you the first question on the list. Christmas version of 5 questions starts right now. On a list through 1 through 5, what are the rankings of your favorite Christmas movies?
Oh, all right. So, number 5, I'm going to go with Scrooged. I'm a Bill Murray guy. I'm a big Bill Murray guy.
Yes.
So I had to find a way to get this on the list. It's kind of a forgotten about Bill Murray movie. Obviously, he's been in a lot of films, a lot of great performances. But how can you not like him in that role? So I'm going to go Scrooge, number 5. Number 4 is technically, I guess, not a Christmas movie, but is a holiday movie. Number 4 for me, I'm going to go with 8 Crazy Nights, the animated movie Adam Sandler did.
Yeah.
How do you not like Adam Sandler in it? And
I thought you were going to say Die Hard.
You might be spoiling something on my list later on. No,
stop.
A lot of controversy with that one, that Die Hard tape. But yeah, 8 Crazy Nights. You got some basketball involved in that as well. So there's that, with Whitey the referee and him as a kid and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I mean Adam Sandler, having some parody songs in there for the holidays too, and you get his sense of humor sprinkled throughout the movie. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Number 3 for me is Bad Santa. Billy Bob Thornton. It's a classic.
I
I don't know
love
what
it.
else I could say.
It's not cliche movies, people. Like, listen to take his word of advice and pop these into the. I was gonna say DVD player. No, pop them onto the Fire
Yeah,
Stick.
streaming services, yeah.
Yeah, Fire Stick.
But yeah, how do you not like Bad Santa there? Like I said, Billy Bob Thornton, it's a classic. What was it Thurman Merman or whatever the hell the kid's name is? Just obviously, if you got kids and little ones around, maybe
Maybe
wait till
not.
they're asleep to
Maybe
watch
not.
it. Maybe not. Number 2, and I think 2 and 1. These are where these are maybe obvious picks. I don't know. I got National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Chevy Chase, Cousin Eddie in the robe.
We'll get into it.
To me,
we're getting into it later. We're getting into it.
To me,
Yeah.
To me, that's a great Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And number 1 for me, and this might be number 1 for a lot of people. I got Home Alone.
What was number 1?
Home Alone.
Home Alone. All right. 1 or 2?
I got it number 1.
No, but 1 or 2. Is it just Home Alone, the first one?
Oh, I'll go with the. Yeah, I mean, we could say both, but I'm going with 1.
Oh, all right. I got mine. Here we go. At 5, I got It's a Wonderful Life. I always think that you need something sentimental, an eye opener sometimes during the holidays to wake you up and realize that it's important that the people around you are here for a reason. So I always kind of like to bring that in, not to get sentimental or anything, but that's just the way I feel.
Bad Santa was my sentimental pick.
Yeah, that's your sentimental one. That's great. At 4, I got Home Alone 2. I think Home Alone 2 is great. I love the New York essence. My wife and I love to go in New York City, so it's always bring us back. And if you look at some scenes, it also has the Twin Towers, and obviously that was a very emotional time in New York City. So it's always good to see that back into the picture. And Macaulay Culkin.
Donald Trump was in that too.
Oh yeah, Trump was in it. Oh boy, yeah. We're not going to talk about that guy on this podcast. He deserves 0 airtime. And then at 3, I would say Christmas with the Cranks. I am a big Tim Allen fan, and my wife and I love watching that too. And one thing that's really important for people to recognize through Christmas with the Cranks, I don't know if they caught on to it, but my wife and I did recently. There are a lot of parallels in Christmas with the Cranks. For example, there's a Halloween scene where it's Frosty. People are calling for Frosty to put on the roof, and she's hiding behind the blinds, and she's petrified. That they're asking for Frosty. And there's a lot more, linear things that, you can look it up and do some research on. But it was pretty interesting to see that. And we watched it so many times that sometimes you like to look outside the box and, figure out what's actually happening. But Dan Aykroyd's in it, right? So, it might have a little Blues Brothers takes, in that mix as well. Can't go wrong. But Tim Allen, for me, if you look at the Santa Claus 2, and Christmas with the Cranks, I think he's the Christmas king. But he doesn't get number 1 on my list, so I'll pump the brakes a little bit. At number 2, I don't know how you can keep this off the list, is Elf. And I think I understand why sometimes people don't fall in love with Will Ferrell, because he does fall into the same kind of character in every movie, and the silliness and the stupid funny. But I just look at Elf as a nice sentimental movie, family around the Christmas tree watching it, so relatable, but at the same time not, because obviously he's coming from the North Pole, and it's always good to throw M&Ms and syrup in your pasta and spaghetti for dinner, and drink a whole bottle of Coca-Cola as a kid. So but it's very interesting to me. I did like that movie inside and out, and Shout out to James blanking. He's in The Godfather. Um,
Oh, Khan.
yes, James Caan. Shout out to him because there's actually an improv scene if people have not known about it. But it's when Will Ferrell is laying down and he asks his dad to come tell him a story, and then he tickles him. He has a tickle fight. That scene is actually real because it was improv by Will Ferrell, and James Caan brought out the Godfather out of him during that scene. So number two, I got Elf. Number one, you said it at number two. I'm bringing in at number one. It's Christmas Vacation. It's the best movie for me. I just love it. It's so awesome. And if you have a huge family, it's so relatable. And I'm hosting Christmas this year. I have 50 people coming to my house, and I feel like I'm the Clark W. Griswold in this household, preparing and appeasing the wife with how many people are actually in our house at one time. But it's a decision that I had to make with Christmas Vacation. It's so good. Was it Elaine from Seinfeld's in it? You got Chevy Chase, obviously. You got the whole crew, Uncle Eddie. But like the best part for me is when he's staring out the window and he's detailing what he's seeing currently. He says, "Just some asshole dumping chemicals in my sewer in a bathrobe. Oh yeah, honey, you check our shitters? They're full."
Yeah, yeah.
So it's fantastic.
All time.
It's a great all time classic. Yeah. So that is my movie rankings, and I appreciated yours as well. What's a good question on your side for me?
All right, so I'm gonna go with from movies. Let's go to music.
All right.
A lot of Christmas songs, and I know they're Mariah Carey's probably coming to mind for you. I know you're a big Mariah Carey guy. What's your favorite Christmas song?
Favorite Christmas song? I like a couple. I like "Stepping Into Christmas" by Elton John. I think that's a classic. Um, I do like a little bit of Michael Bublé action, um, but I thoroughly enjoy "Please Come Home for Christmas," whether that's U2, whether that's John Bon Jovi, um, and then Bruce Springsteen, "Santa Claus is Coming to Town," the live version.
Oh, all
Um,
right, yeah, yeah,
it's a nice mix, and obviously Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra thrown into the mix. So um, you got to have it all. You got to have it all.
yeah. You kind of stole my answer with, or not? Didn't really. I guess not answer, but for me, it's Sinatra. And he's got quite a few. Mariah Carey, I did want to, obviously we'd be remiss if we didn't mention her.
When do you think that song came out? Because I just did a Christmas music trivia. When do you think that song came out?
The Mariah Carey one,
Yes.
2003.
Nope. Nope.
Not even close.
1994.
Holy shit!
Yeah. That's a wake up
Wow,
call. That
it's only
shows
off by it's only off by a decade.
only off by a decade. My goodness. No, I thought the same. I was doing music trivia with my friend last night or the other night, and it was just like one of those questions where it was like, really, like that's really happening, 1994, and I was like, yeah, it's All I Want for Christmas. He's like, no shot. That came out in the 2000s. I was like, nope, 1994. So take it or leave it.
Oh man.
But what else? What
yeah.
else is on your list? I mean, it can't be everything. Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Frank Sinatra, to be specific, like "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas."
Okay.
That's one of my favorite ones. Maybe a little bit old school, but like some Bing Crosby and Nat King Cole.
Okay.
With their renditions of there's a White Christmas and all that good stuff. I don't know. I mean, those are probably. I like a lot of the older stuff. I guess like it makes me feel a little bit nostalgic. Not that I was around in those times, but like that nostalgia feel a little bit.
You'll be old as shit if you were around that time.
I guess I'm aging well. I do have a couple grays coming in, but